Imperial Palace is amazing.
You can rent a car and
Yeah, it's in the red light district. Yeah.
Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's your flashy fashion reporter, Kathy Cat, and today we're gonna go hit the streets of Tokyo and ask the foreigners here what is their must-do thing in Japan? What is the one thing they will not go home without having done? Let's go and ask foreigners in Japan.
There's a really good temple in Asakusa and it gives you fortunes. I really enjoyed that because I got the best fortune ever. So good luck to me.
Everything modern and everything ancient. So the Imperial Palace is amazing. And so are the Shinkansen, the bullet trains and all that stuff. And obviously the cheesy robot cafe things. I think if you see a little bit of ancient culture, some high tech and some of the cheesy stuff that the Japanese do because they're so wacky sometimes, then you're going to get a good sense of things.
Mix of all the good things. Yeah, well now is there any weird experience you had during your trip in Japan? Anything like, wow, that's a bit crazy, or we said weird and wacky, anything you tried? Did you try to go to a robot cafe or similar?
We went to a maid cafe. This is something that I didn't know about until a few days ago, and it was just on the phone. What to do in where were we? Asakusa? No, we're somewhere else.
The technology.
Akihabara, yeah. Oh, you need to go to a maid cafe. Okay, it's lunch, so we'll go to a maid cafe. That was weird.
Yeah, it was very weird.
She was the only woman in there.
Yeah.
How would you express the experience?
Kind of sad. It kind of you to pay too much for very ordinary food, and then some pretty girls will pretend to like you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like OnlyFans in real life. I don't know.
What, in your opinion, is your must-do activity in Japan?
There's a lot, but I feel like for me as well, like nature here is absolutely beautiful. So like there's a waterfall in Mie that for me, I have to go there, swim next to the waterfall. That's like a must do for me.
bullet train, I would say. Yeah. My mom, she talks about it a lot. Like, oh, you have to watch the movie Bullet Train, and so I really want to try that. We're gonna rent a car as well and go around like Wakayama and Nara and stuff like that. So that's for me like road tripping with a car. Like that's I'll change that. That's my number one thing to do. Like rent a car and because you're so much more free. Like no times to blah blah blah. So yeah.
What is your absolute must-do in Japan thing?
I know what me and my little brother want to do is climb Mount Fuji.
I think like an onsen or a hot spring. We've seen a lot of them, and it feels like it's been so nice. It looks really relaxing, and it looks like a really fun time.
I would say also like a hot spring and an inn. I want to sleep at a traditional inn.
Like a ryokan?
Yeah, a ryokan, exactly.
One more thing I really want to do, and I'm trying to take everybody, and I know you want it too, is go to a cat cafe. A cafe full of cats. Yes. I just want to see that.
Sushi, because we have sushi in France, but I think it's not the same as Japanese sushi. So I think sushi is one thing to try on here in Japan.
Cat Island. You're looking forward to it?
Yes.
Okay, when you go to Cat Island, what do you want to do?
Egg cats.
Would it be illegal to have a cat cafe in France?
We have some,
yes,
but it's not like that common as in Japan. Like here we have a lot of cafe shop with animals, but in France it's just cats, and there is not a lot of cat in that. But and it's very rare too. Very rare. So
anything weird you want to do in Japan?
Maybe dress in cosplay in the streets. Yeah. And go outside like that as normal outfits. Yeah.
I do some research for activities. I would like to go to the nightclub, and I would like to go to the Universe Japan Studio. Yes. To visit the universe of Nintendo. Except the Universal Studio Japan. Honestly, I don't have. I like to walk in the street at night to see the streets, taking photo, taking picture, and that's all.
Why do you want to walk around at night?
I'm a night person. Yes, so that's why I really like to put music and just walking.
Just there's a question: is it safe to walk around in France at night?
No, sometimes no.
And you said you want to go to the nightclub in Japan?
Yes, I really would like. I am with my friend, but they're not there.
Do you feel safe in Japan to walk alone?
So yeah, we're gonna try and we're gonna see. I heard that it was fun, so I need to see it.
How much was your trip so far? Like how much did you budget in for this Japan trip, and where are you staying, kind of stuff?
The Japan trip is just half of my trip. I did Korea first. Excluding the flight tickets, I budgeted 2,000 euro, less than like 1,700 euros for a month, and I'm still 700 to 500 good. Yeah, so I think I've spent like 1,000 so far. I don't eat that much. Yeah, I don't eat that much. Yeah, no, it's been cheap. Yeah, I think the accommodation is actually the most expensive thing.
What kind of accommodation did you decide to get?
I make a lot of friends generally, so a lot of times I was actually staying at a friend's of a friend's of a friend's place. In Osaka, I was staying at a friend's place, and then went to Yokohama for one day, stayed at a friend of a friend's place. Korea also stayed at some friends. So it's actually now in Tokyo the first time that I'm staying in a hostel. I'm gonna say it's about 19 per night euros in euros, or maybe even a little cheaper. Yeah, it's in the red light district. Yeah.
That's why it's so cheap. I was gonna wonder about that. All right, how did you find that?
It was actually on Airbnb.
You're really good on budgeting your trip.
So, sometimes I buy stupid shit that I should not, you know.
What stupid stuff did you buy?
My Crocs. So I did not buy my Crocs, but all of the charms on them. I'm in love with the charms. Look, they shine. Now you can't see.
Oh,
Yeah, they shine.
One of them is flashing.
No, but I'm absolutely in love with Crocs charms, so I buy so many of them. This is something that I bought way too many of.
What's the thing that's surprisingly cheap, and what's the thing that's surprisingly expensive in Japan?
Obviously, surprisingly expensive are the fruits. I did get a kind of explanation because there can't be a mass production of it. So, like, they're really high quality. Like the Japanese fruits made in Japan. Apparently, they're really high quality, but then potentially also really expensive. Yeah, consequently, really expensive. Cheap. I think it's really the food. It's like going to a restaurant or buying food in a convenience store. Like you can literally have dinner for 3 euros.
You say food is cheap, but you don't eat much. What do you like to eat then?
I've been living on I'm obsessed with onigiri. I've been living on onigiri even before coming to Japan. I was making it on my own, and I think 1 year I spent living on onigiri. So that's one thing that I absolutely love.
Favorite onigiri?
Tuna mayo.
For your trip, how much did you budget in?
I actually budgeted, so I knew I was going to spend some on my card because the conversion rates are pretty good with my bank. I budgeted spending $1,000. That's not including all the stuff that we prepaid for, including hotels and Airbnbs and all that. It was probably close to 2,000. It was very expensive. Because I under budgeted how much I would spend on food, and also because my friends I'm friends with foodies. Also realizing that museums aren't free in Japan, and so doing that would add up. And also, late night, I want to try everything at the konbini because I can't get this back home. And that's probably what tonight's going to be if I don't get pulled into one of the lovely looking crepes over there, because I love crepes and we don't have any of those, like anything, like any creperies that don't cost an arm and a leg, at least as far as I know.
So what do you think was surprisingly more expensive than you thought it would be?
Food. I think it was mostly food. And transportation. It really adds up, and you gotta make sure, like, it's so cheap when you're just doing one by one. Be like, it's like $260 to get from place A to B, but you have to calculate for there and back, and also if you want to stop at any other place, and also if you how much are you planning on walking. Always bring walking shoes. Do not bring your stylish shoes. I know you want to look stylish, especially in a place like this. I brought my comfy shoes. I asked my mom for my birthday. I was like, can you please get me sneakers that are super comfortable, because I need them for both work. And also I was like, I'm planning on taking, I need them to look plain so they can match a lot of my outfits. Sneakers are the way to go. And another thing, Daiso has awesome inserts. So go to Daiso. Daiso is, spent so much money at Daiso.
Was there anything surprisingly cheap?
Necessities, like little things that you needed from the grocery store, like, oh, I forgot this. They ended up being pretty cheap. And also what we knew, existed of like merch and stuff you can get at like, or that you want to get at anime conventions is way cheaper here. I was shocked at how cheap a lot of the figurines were. The figurines were usually cheaper, and the fact that a lot of konbinis have like trading cards that you can get of like specific anime or like gacha games or like that kind of stuff. That was very shocking that they had like the merch that was in Daiso. Like
Daiso.
Yes.
100 yen store.
Daiso, yeah, favorite store. Love Daiso.
I've lived in Japan for quite a couple of years now, so I've done a lot of must-do things, and I think there are a lot of cool things to do. So when you guys come to Japan, you probably have a full list of where you want to travel, what you want to do, and a lot of you guys will probably come to the main cities, Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, which is great. But if you have a bit of extra time, I can highly recommend you to also go to the other prefectures of Japan. Actually, we have done a video series where we travel to 3 prefectures in 3 days. 3 prefectures, 3 days. Check out the first video out of that series. It was a lot of fun, and it tells you how to get around the places, what to definitely do and what to not miss on your trip to Japan. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you soon for another video on Ash Japanese.